Hello everyone, dear friends. Today we are together with the great Arianna Martini. Hi
Hi,
Arianna.
Alberto. Hi, everyone.
And now we are going to talk about the life experience of Arianna, which everyone must listen to, especially in this historical period of war. Later we'll understand why. Now Arianna will tell us her life experience, which matches the content of Marian messages. As you well know, I studied the messages of several apparitions all over the world, so now let's try to understand more. I'll begin to read them. Apparitions in El Escorial, Spain, 1981. The world will be involved in a great war. Several countries will be destroyed. There will be many deaths. Ecuador Cuenca, 1989, the Third World War threatens the world. Catalina Rivas, Bolivia, 1996. In earlier times, my mother had announced the chastisement, but now the hour is even more at hand. The strongest nations shall destroy the weakest ones. All human rights will be suppressed. Blood and fire all over the earth. Things never seen since the creation of the world. The sky will have only reflections of fire. It will not be blue, but full of the smoke of the means of destruction. Jacaré, Apparitions from Brazil, 2014. Pray a lot, because the world is hanging by a thread. A great war like never before is about to fall on you and spread throughout the world. First of all, about these apparitions, I have been studying all Marian messages from the first to the last. I didn't just pick them at random from the internet. I have realized that they match each other, but I also know what happens in these apparition sites. For example, in Elias Corel, I've just read a message from there. A girl had hepatitis B and AIDS. She had drug problems, had been several times in jail. She went to this apparition site in Spain. She smelled a very strong scent of roses, which is Our Lady's typical scent. She was immediately healed, and of course, she converted too. In Jacaré, I've just read a message from there too. I showed it in a video uploaded by me a few months ago. There have been solar pulsations right there which have been recorded. Also, there are witnesses too. You can definitely see these people looking up at the sky, watching this phenomenon. So, pay great attention and give much importance to these messages. Luz de Maria, Apparitions, Argentina, 2016. My children, the spectre of war has stopped being spectre, and you leave the onslaught, only silent, through a war of words and threats that will become action, the feared and announced Third World War. Tony Laggetta, Lecce. Here we have 6 visionaries, and Tony Laggetta is, so to speak, the most popular one. This message has been received by Claudia, 2016. My children, look around as hardness is about to advance. The threats between the powers will end up causing the irreparable. Be vigilant, my children, be vigilant. All over the world, Virgin Mary is clearly warning us, as I have just proved, that a Third World War is coming. Threats will turn into deeds, and unfortunately, we are
Seeing it.
seeing it. That's right. The Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov said that the Third World War is coming in a little while. A while ago, Biden said if Russia steps into Ukraine, a Third World War will break out. Not long ago, Putin said that the West is ruled by a network of Satanists and that Western mass media are totally corrupt and false. Therefore, it is happening. The irreparable is happening. This is a world war, so it's going to come to Italy, actually especially to Italy. In previous videos, I have explained why. I have seen war only in front of a screen at my computer, or years and years ago, when I still used to watch TV, I saw it on TV screens. But you saw it live. So tell me about your experience in Syria, how it all started.
It started precisely with the outbreak of the war in Syria. Not that before I was a sleepy person, because I have always been attentive to what was happening around me. But above all, I was tormented because when you are part of a mechanism, of a gear, on default you get up and go to work, you take care of your family. All was beautiful, of course, thank God, but, at the same time, this was not enough for me. Growing up and as well raising my children, I widened my horizon a little more and I made a decision. I'm leaving. A war has just broken out here, right next to us, nearby. Maybe it was not very close, but we still could see it on TV. I really couldn't. I couldn't go on without doing my part in the world. And so I left. I left just like that, just as I was. At first, I joined an organization. Even if their goals weren't mine. For a few months I could still gain some experience. Later, with a group of friends, we self-collected a small amount of money and I left. I made my contacts. How do you say it? My reassurances. My insurance policies. I left. And there I found the war. War. War means... War means void. It means evil. War means destruction. It means a humanity that is no longer human. But besides all that, in addition to seeing what the consequences were, as well as seeing the bombings, besides that, it is the human wickedness that surfaces. You also see a whole population mainly of children and women. Victim of evil. These are people who no longer had anything. There is nothing left in Syria.
Nothing.
Zero. There is nothing left. In my travels, okay, refugee camps, maybe we'll talk about it later. But anyway, if you look at that land, it is a mass of ruins and people wandering around with nothing.
Into the
Into
void.
the void. Literally nowhere. It is a humanitarian tragedy for no reason then, in the end.
Well, let's be more specific. How have you organized at the beginning? I'm asking you because I don't think that you can just go there and help people right away.
I wasn't very organized at first. As I told you before, I just had a short experience. That experience with an organization, though, at least gave me a fair idea of how things need to be done. But then I came across a spontaneous refugee camp, where really there were only rags and children dying of cholera. And, above all, however, there was a child who we later saved. His illness was already at a very serious stage, but he could still be saved. Having come across this reality changed everything for me. Besides from coming home upset, I was not even being able anymore to go out for a pizza with friends.
The first period,
Yes,
most of
the
all.
first period was very hard. Very hard because you came back here anyway and it all seems too good, all too superfluous. So what have I done? As I said, we self-collected money with a group of friends. I raised some funds and left again. With those funds I was trying to put an end to what I considered the emergency. I fed them. There was also a volunteer doctor with me. We started like this, do you understand? We were not an organization. We tried to cure them. Later, when I got home, I started using Facebook. I did it to let off steam, mostly I posted photos and screamed. I screamed my pain, I screamed the failure of humanity. People began to approach and tell me, we want to help you, how do we do it? For me it was beautiful. I therefore understood that I had to organize myself and create an association, because people wanted to donate. So I got organized, we got organized. We are still a small association that in the meantime has evolved and grown up. We have begun to collect donations. I began to structure projects. How? I collect donations and then I personally travel there every month. I go, I bring food. We offer support for orphans, especially for children. We offer free medical care for everyone. We have opened 2 schools and built 2 wells. All this is our organization.
Well, so what you started a little casually later has developed into all that.
Yes, exactly. I can't tell you that it all started on a specific day. It was an evolution.
Oh yes, an evolution.
I remember that in the beginning I had to make food packs by myself. During the first 2 years, at night I prepared the big bags containing basic necessities myself. Then, the following day, I would deliver them. It was also a bit of a disaster, because everyone wanted the food package anyway. Then slowly things got structured. We now have a supplier. The supplier makes me find the packages already prepared. A large truck arrives with food packages at the camp. Now at the refugee camp, there are 2 coordinators who make a list. Today people line up, and that's a whole new thing. That's how things have evolved over time.
Which were the harshest war scenes that you have seen?
They were always scenes that have to do with the suffering of children. In addition to Syria, I have been all over the Middle East. I have seen? I can tell you about 2 scenes in particular. The first concerns a child. A wounded and abandoned child sitting in a corner. He was a disabled child, wounded and abandoned. Disabled, injured and abandoned in a corner. Wounded. Here. The story is that of a person. A man. Of a man who did that with a knife. He failed, but he tried.
Yes.
He tried.
I understand.
He tried to kill that kid, simply because war is this crap here.
Of course.
Another time, however, I entered a city. I still dream of that scene at times. A raid on civilians had just been carried out. On civilians. And there were corpses. Even of children. Rubble, corpses, even of children, and a hanged man. We have just arrived there, and this is what I saw. It still really hurts me. It hurts me to talk about it.
I
It is
can
really
only
something
imagine.
That upsets your life, but at the same time it makes you realize, I have to do something. At least, it had this effect on me.
Of course,
For me, it was like that.
This is an incentive to move forward, instead of freezing, of course. I'm going to read other messages which are very related to the topic of children. Zaro Apparitions, Naples, 1999. Children. My son Jesus suffers because his youngest children, the children, they are raped, beaten, and suffer all forms of abuse. Jesus suffers for all the sufferings inflicted on the little ones, the most humble, the most defenseless. Cavarzere, Apparitions, Venice, 2003. How many wars, how many deaths, how many atrocities for children. Children without bread, without mom, without dad. They slaughter and sell them. Whoever does this will be chastised by God, for they got money, that's what they want, money. 2010, children, still covered there, children who are being slaughtered in the world in order to harvest their organs. Join all together, build the army of love. You've just stepped into an environment where children are really without mom, without dad, without food, without drinking. They are alone, therefore they are vulnerable to such barbarities, which Our Lady has just described. Moreover, we know of organ trafficking reaching the wealthiest families of this world, very wealthy families. In the end, it's all about money. Has it ever happened to you that you saw some children in a tent and then, after a month, after a while, you didn't see them anymore?
Yes, it happened to me. Thus, in all the places I've gone, the ghost of disappearing children always existed. When children have parents, parents are afraid for their children. Even when kids still have parents. Even in the camp that we have been taking care of for years, which I repeat is a spontaneous camp.
They're afraid that they remain
Yes,
alone,
they
that
are
they
afraid
go too far.
that they go too far. This is when they have parents. But often this is unavoidable, because it is a refugee camp anyway. The truth is that in a refugee camp, controlling one's children is very difficult, even for a parent. It is very difficult to control them also because the parent has to try to go to work. Sometimes they have to leave their children alone all day, even if they are still small. But when children have no parents, they are everyone's prey. I have seen it. We support situations of orphan children, in which there is a 10-year-old brother who takes full care of all his younger siblings. It happened to me, and I can also tell you names because for me they are children, they are not faces seen on television. It happened I wasn't able to find them anymore. It happened to me to lose kids with whom I had spoken, played. Children I had hugged, and made promises to. It happened to me, indeed, if you talk.
With whom a dialogue
Yes,
began.
children with whom a dialogue began, of affection, because we have had a relationship with them since 2013. It's been almost 10 years, and I am seeing many of them already grown up. They can also grow thanks to us who make them grow, because we give them food, care, and so on. But I happen to come back and say, like this. Who?
Of course.
Where has he
Where are
gone?
they? They're not here anymore.
I know for sure something happened. I have never seen it, but the adults of the camp have. I mean, I've never seen a person take a child away. But I know of a child who was there a month before and the next month was gone. He disappeared and where he went is still unknown. The adults in the camp tell you, people come here and things happen, so. Now Les, I have to tell you the truth, also because we are a constant presence and things are changing little by little. We check, we are always there, we have camp coordinators and we take a census of everybody. Now is happening less, but at first this was devastating. I always like to give examples. Once I happened to bring a simple feast and pasta to a little girl who had a red butt. The little girl was gone. I was there with my cream.
Okay, you had
But she was
provided.
gone.
Yes, of course.
She was alone.
Anyway, we are talking of organ trafficking.
Yes, we are talking about organ trafficking. For example, a father and I once moved a family from the camp because their son was sick. We paid him the rent in an urban area. Luckily, now they are in Italy, but this is another story. I had recommended that he send his other children to school. He tried, but then he told me that he stopped sending them because he wasn't sure that they could get to the school unharmed. He had talked to me about that, about organ trafficking. As I told you, I have never seen it. I can't say that I have seen it, however.
Yes, of course, that's the rumor which we can understand very well.
Yep.
Have you ever tried to retrieve a child that you haven't seen anymore?
It has happened even now. Recently, in the last few months, that an entire group of children alone was moved to another place. Moved. Okay? To another place. Right now, I'm looking for a little girl I am very fond of. Her name is Nirma. She also has brothers and sisters.
There's also a picture of
Yes,
her on the
yes.
internet. Okay, I got it.
Among other things, she is a very gifted girl. She was very good in our schools. Really smart. She is very worn, though, but all these children are worn as well. They have been taken away. I know where they are, I'm just not being able to get them back. But I want to do it. Not this time, because I am leaving on Saturday and this is a slightly shorter mission, but in July I will make another attempt to get them back. In the past, another child named Abdullah had gone missing. He has been gone for almost a year. But they knew I was looking for him. At a certain point he came back. Perhaps because they thought it would be a problem if I, a Western and an European, had not found him. But I am only speculating. The baby is back.
He's back.
He
Yes,
is
yes.
back. Yes, thinner than before, more wounded than before, however he is back. He is pretty good now. We support him.
Of course. I'm going on with the messages. Gaetano Marino, Apparitions, Calabria, 2015. Learn to love all those that no one loves. Try to understand thousands of children are dying of hunger and are killed without having deserved it. Seek forgiveness from the Lord for abandoning them. I love you all, and I don't want to lose you. The times of warnings for what is happening all over the world have come. So don't leave the children, let's help them, let's help Arianna, because by helping them we also protect them from this terrifying trafficking which unfolds
Around their frailties.
Yes.
Where there is a fragility, the vultures arrive.
Which unfolds secretly
Yes.
anyway.
Can I tell you just one thing?
Yes.
The message love those who are not loved by anyone.
Of course.
Here, this is my motto. The last of the earth, the invisibles, the ones that no one looks at. Where no one would set, foot. For me are the people I love.
They are those most in
Those
need.
I love the most, and I
Of
try to help.
course.
Yes.
Moreover, it's our duty. We will be accountable for that, especially as far as children are concerned.
Of course, yes.
Maracaibo, Apparitions from Venezuela. Son, if you receive the body of my divine Son every day, that is the Eucharist, if you pray the Holy Rosary, if you confess and know the commandments and the scriptures, but you don't have charity, all this will not do you any good. Zaro, Apparitions, Naples, 2006. There is no deed without prayer. There is no prayer without deed. So prayer and all that, Eucharist, sacraments, the confession which I make, by the way, must be necessarily coupled with deed. Otherwise it becomes a false and hypocritical prayer. I mean, I always pray the rosary at 9 p.m. I said that in my videos and meetings, but if there is no charity, it's worth a lot less. In this historical period, we really need a powerful prayer, so we definitely need to combine prayer and charity. Giampilieri, Apparition, Sicily, 1995. Moreover, these messages are very little spread because they are very inconvenient. 1995. The Holy Gospel. Put it into practice. I'm speaking of charity. This virtue is of the utmost importance. Capua, Antonio, Visionary Caserta, 2003. I want your charity to be enriched more and more, offered to those who are hungry and thirsty. Elio, Apparitions, Calabria, 2001. Love the poor, seek them, and prefer them.
That's what I said.
Seek them exactly as you do. Yes, living alongside them, because this is the first message of baby Jesus. Carbonia, so she says it everywhere. Carbonia, Apparition, Sardinia, 2015. I see your lips vibrating, but I see no action. Your deeds are stuck to your habits, to your own interests. This message of mine should not be taken as a reproach, but as a teaching. Give me your love. By sharing it with your brothers, you will share it with me. What pushed you to go to Syria on a deep level? Why? Let me explain. You've got a family, a house, a car, a job. I mean, you could live your comfortable life if you wish, just like the vast majority of Italian families, but you stepped into hell in order to help other people. What prompted you to do that?
I am like that. I was born like that. I've always had it inside. I like my home, as do my family and loved ones. I love them, but despite this, I can't close myself in all this, which for me is an almost undeserved privilege. It is a gift from heaven. I was born here, but I could have been born in a favela, or in another part of the world. And so, not that I don't love my family or my life. I have learned to appreciate them. Inside of me, though, I always knew that our brief passage on this earth must mean something. The meaning is simply love. Love is the most important thing. But love. Obviously, love for others, for those who have none, for those who are most unfortunate, for those who suffer. I can't tolerate the pain, and turn away if I can do something. And even if I can't, I make it mine. But if I can intervene and relieve it, I do. And I could. Each of us can choose a mission, let's call it that way. Each of us can. You don't necessarily have to leave and go to war zones or refugee camps. Everyone can make their own peace. I feel called to carry out this task, because I know that where the last of the earth are, I can make them feel less last. I feel fulfilled even if I can only offer them a little comfort in the most painful moments. I feel myself. I wouldn't be able to live my life if I didn't have this other piece of life that I try to keep in balance. I don't know if
Of
I have
course,
explained myself,
yes.
Alberto.
What strikes me is that, for example, you have not helped a family here in your town which lives next door. I mean, you went to a war place, to a war zone. That's what impresses me. So it was a huge drive.
Very strong,
Very
strong.
strong.
Yes, the family next to me is in need, of course. There is no reason, though. They just need help. Everyone has their own needs. But where the pain is greater and no one sees it, that's where I feel I belong with.
Yes,
I see
of
myself
course.
there. Furthermore, as I often say, my soul breathes just at the moment when I sit on the ground in the mud, in the dust with those children with dirty hands, broken nails, hungry. Alberto, there are children there, I saw them last time, who go to the fields nearby to get some raw salad. From the fields. Can we say that they steal it? Can we say they get it? They get raw salad and eat it. They are so hungry. There are videos where they offer it to me and I eat raw unwashed salad with them. This sharing is the best thing for me. It is good for me but not for them, though. I can't stand a small child who is hungry and has only salad to eat. If I can do something, I do it. And I bring him something to eat.
Of course.
Our children don't even look at the salad. But it's not our children's fault. That is. What is their fault?
Yes, we raised them
It is not
this
their
way.
fault. If you take them and put them in a refugee camp, you would see they also eat grass when they are hungry. It is not their fault. We need to give more awareness to our children and our babies. We certainly can't blame them if they want a chocolate egg. For God's sake.
In tough and desperate situations, can you take some children here to Italy?
It has happened, yes, it has happened. You said well, in desperate situations of illness, children who are sick and who have at least one companion. You cannot move children who do not have a guardian, therefore an adult father, mother or uncle. I have had the case of children accompanied by father or mother. It has happened to me. A great commitment was required with the involvement of the Italian Interior Ministry and the large organization of UNHCR. It has happened, yes. Thanks to this collaboration, we were able to move several sick children and bring them to Italy to be treated. These are the only reasons that allow children to move. Other reasons would not allow it, also because many of these children do not have an official identity. For example, Abdullah, who I know is watching this meeting of ours, is the child who had disappeared and who has returned. We support him. Know that if you ask him his age, he will simply reply, I don't know. Imagine also the ones who are supporting us financially.
Yes, they
we have a
don't
remote
know
support
it.
project. Our supporters ask me, what are the names of the children? How old are they? And I can only answer, more or less 10. And they, how come, more or less? Children don't know their exact age.
That's a reality which is totally different from ours.
If you ran away, there are some children who are now grown up, but they have been there for 10 years. Others may have been there for a shorter period of time. Maybe they're 12 now, or they ran away when they were 2. What do they know? How do they know how old they are? They do not know. And this, when they have parents. Because in any case the parents are worried about being able to survive, reach the evening and to be able to give those children something to eat. Their kids have no more documents. The parents
Of
no longer
course.
remember anything. It's terrible. They have lost their identity.
I can imagine. What are your plans at the moment?
At the moment, I am leaving on Saturday.
All right.
The current active projects are, first, food security, because you have to keep them alive. They are men, women, children, and the elderly. It is a community of 900 families, 900 tents. Okay?
If there is no help, there is
Nothing,
no
there is
one.
no one.
I mean,
There is
they
no
die
one.
right
No.
there.
There is nobody. There is no one to help them, okay? So
So
safety
it's
first.
indispensable, 100%.
Of course. I didn't leave last week because of personal family issues, and now I have this thought. I know they are waiting, because as I told you, food supply. So food packages that guarantee them a month of food more or less. Support for orphans, which means that each group of orphans has an extra support in addition to the food package. So my thought now is that I will have to arrange 2 or 3 months of support. That is, last month, this month and next month. We have built 2 wells. They didn't have access to clean water before. We have 2 schools within the camp for these children. They are not aware that they were born and are growing up in a reality like this. Their priority is to reach the end of the day alive. But as adults we understand the situation. We know we need to give them some kind of awareness. We must educate them so that they will not become the slaves of tomorrow. This also helps in soothing their wounds, because many of them have wounds in their souls. They witness scenes of war and violence sometimes on their own parents. Thus we built 2 schools. In addition, there is also a medical project. Not all missions, but every other time I go with a doctor to treat them. The doctor gets very tired. He sits in a tent and takes care of the whole camp. This has a cost, because we are the ones who buy the medicines for them. Everything has a cost, everything I'm telling you are real projects. And projects go on only with money.
Well, of course, let's not beat about the bush.
So,
given the incoming difficult times, a lot of people ask me all the time, how are we going to get protection? As always, I will reply with the Marian messages. Valeria Copponi Apparitions, Rome, 2010. Feel compassion for the less fortunate, for the dispossessed, for those who are paying for their sins because they have made a mistake, for those who leave their homelands, facing great difficulties, abuse, harassment. In these and other thousands cases, is it utopia, he is asking. Is it utopia to feel pity? These are warnings coming from heaven. My children, can you believe that a father can accept your requests for mercy and forgiveness? without considering your lack of mercy towards your brothers. Begin to think about how many abortions are committed with the complicity of doctors and health workers who do not even remotely feel a shred of mercy for that creature they are killing, depriving it of the light to which it was called. More, how much and what kind of mercy do you feel for an elderly and sick person? So in a way, all the people in trouble, who is only responsible for limiting your freedom, your hearts turn to stone when they are faced with uncomfortable situations. You entrench yourselves behind false pity or do-goodism, and then appropriately you get rid of the inconvenience. So the love, peace, be good, hearts and stars messages are fine, but the heaven is rightly asking for something more concrete. Otherwise, it's really false pity and false do-goodism. Cavarzere, Venice, 2011. No one will touch you if you do my works. Goodwill is rewarded by the Holy Father, who is the judge of the universe. Luz de Maria, 2021. Children of God, you are protected by the most Holy Trinity, by our Queen and Mother, and by the heavenly armies, if you are creatures of good, doers of the divine will, if you do the divine will. I bless you, remain sheltered in the shadow of the Most High. I hold my sword up high as a sign of protection for each one of you. So that's simple. When you protect the children, when you donate to children, when you get into an uncomfortable situation to help children in trouble and in need, you create an alliance with God. And in that case, God can really give us protection. So do you want protection in this historical period of war? Then help who's suffering because of war. Therefore, let's help Arianna. Did you feel protected on your mission? Did you take great risks?
Yes, it has happened several times for me to take big risks. Lately, maybe a little less, but it has happened. I've never been afraid. I don't know if not being afraid means I felt protected, but I think it's the same thing. I've never really been afraid. It's something I've already said. In situations of great danger, it was as if I were looking at myself from above. My head was buzzing and I repeated to myself, nothing can happen to me, nothing can happen to me, nothing can happen to me. Nothing can happen to me. Indeed. I experienced to be physically threatened, though. I got stabbed here. Actually over here. This arm.
A deep cut?
Just a cut. Fortunately not deep. He tried, let's say, It happened during a distribution they didn't want me to do. Or I happened to take a car and enter Syria. I entered with my collaborators and protection. Because you cannot enter Syria without the protection around you. I'm not talking about now that the situation has improved. I'm talking about a few years ago. Now the situation has improved.
At the beginning?
At the beginning. Yes. So I got into a car. The escort car was in front of us. I had to go in and do what I had to do to help a group of orphans wandering the streets of a destroyed town. I can also say its name. Aleppo. There is a road there, only one long road. In this street you have to run with the car so that the bombs don't hit you. You hear helicopters buzzing, planes passing by. One can see smoke and the classic explosions. I was afraid, but never so much. I don't know. Because I've never been afraid of not coming back. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm more afraid when I have to pull the brake. I don't know. While driving back home.
Perhaps in traffic
exactly.
Here in Italy.
And I say to myself, oh my God, now I'm going to crash and hurt myself. I am a fast driver. I am more afraid here than in war situations. I do not know. I don't really know. I have sometimes called it carelessness.
Have you ever been threatened?
I've been threatened several times. I can't say if they were real threats, in the sense that they would become real. Or maybe it was just some braggart. Even so, I have always carried on. I've always ignored threats. I took my precautions, but people in the camp have been fond of us for quite some time now. They love us, so they protect us themselves. I can add that ours and theirs are two completely different cultures. However, we are united by universal love. It is truly universal. I was threatened, yes. I was threatened of death. 2 or 3 missions ago I was threatened that they would call the police. And I, call the police. For what? What am I doing wrong? I am helping. Call whoever you want. I'll put you in jail. Yes, I was threatened. But I never stopped, and I never really thought that things would end badly. Never.
Have you ever had guns pointed at you?
I happened to be pointed at a Kalashnikov or something similar. I am not a weapon expert. It was like a machine gun, maybe Kalashnikov is too much. I don't really know. They pointed it here on my neck because they wanted to see what I had on my phone. I showed it to them and they made me delete 2 or 3 photos. Even so. Of course, your legs are shaking a bit, you can't really say that everything is fine.
Well, then,
They pointed at
I
you.
greatly
What if they fire
admire.
a shot? Anyway.
I greatly admire you because you're also a woman. So, congratulations. Really.
When you find yourself in such situations, but you are there and you have to overcome everything.
Of course.
So, I went back. Yep.
Let's go on with the messages. El Escorial, Apparition, Spain, 1981. My daughter, tell everyone that the Son of Man, Jesus, shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then will he render to every man according to his works. Paratico, Apparitions, Brescia, which is nearby, 1995. Courage, my children, the times have come when you need to wake from your sleep and to start the challenging journey which leads to Jesus. My children, Jesus is already coming back to visit this world, from which the cry of the righteous rises to God, as well as the cry of the innocent blood, the cry of those who are starving, dying of thirst and naked. They are dying because too many of my children live in the utmost comfort. So the more the children cry, the greater the justice of God. Carbonia 2022. War is around the corner. The prophecies are being fulfilled. Everything is happening, my children. But in truth I tell you that none of these men will be left standing, because I shall throw them, together with Lucifer, into hell. In this short time exert yourselves in good deeds. Everything that's going on is no coincidence. We are living the end times. Jesus is coming to earth with the sword of justice. He shall be terrible to all those people, to all of the warmongers of this world, and to all their followers. The gospel is very clear about that. For I was hungry and you gave me to eat. Jesus himself said that. I was thirsty and you gave me to drink, naked and you covered me. I remind you, and I'll say that again, because we live a religiosity which is a little off. Too much criticism and a great deal of strict rules going on, but not so much of spirituality, and very often we overlook charity. I know that people don't like very much what I've just said, but I must do it, because the day of reckoning is really upon us, and Jesus will be really inflexible in his judgment. How do the children see you when you get there at the camp? Like a savior? Like a queen?
So, they always draw me as a queen. Or like a princess with a crown on her head and a long pink dress. They have never seen me dressed like that because I always wear ordinary clothes. But yes, drawing is their fantasy. But it is the image they have of this lady who arrives every month. Who helps them, who saves them, who gives them food. Help them. So yeah, they see me as a mom even though I don't aspire to be a mom. I mean, I'm already a mother. I don't have this need. I am already the mother of my children, but I am also the mother of everyone, including adults. Really, everyone. They see me as a person who comes and turns the situation around. But not only because they eat, but also because they get some attention that they don't usually have. They are there, abandoned. They always compete for my attention, to take my hand. There is always some children who hold my hand. They fight to hold my hand. They give me a lot of stuffs, I'm all full of things that they give me. Those are jewels and objects that they make with the beads that we bring for them. Yes, indeed. They then make drawings in schools, and when I arrive I have them explained to me. In almost all the drawings there is me arriving. Everything is beautiful in their drawings.
Yes.
There are no school desks but grass and flowers. This is their way of seeing who actually brings them what they lack. But not only that, even who gives them love.
Of course, well, let's say they're not very pampered.
No, they are
so
not
when
very
they see
pampered.
you, they jump for joy.
Yep.
How do these children see the world, and how do they feel about grown-ups?
Many do not know the world. For them the world is the refugee camp they live in, because they are quite isolated from the outside. They have no perception of anything other than war, hatred, and the refugee camp. This is all they know. This is precisely our effort, to show them through the schools that there is something else. And then make them understand that there is also love and that there is also good. As for the adults, they fear them. Obviously, I'm not talking about their close family members, when they have any. I'm not even talking about myself and the coworkers who
Of
come with
course,
me. But
yes,
they do fear adults.
I understand.
They absolutely fear them. They have a respect that is also fear. But in short, they never received anything from the adult world. Except from us.
War, hate, hunger.
Yes.
So, nothing.
That's right, so they're afraid.
Of course. Did they also cook for themselves by burning the plastic?
Yes, there is no fuel there because the camp is in the middle of nowhere. Even if there were trees, and there are very few of them there, you couldn't even go and cut them down. These are fruit trees, own trees. So you can't go and chop wood. It happened that we brought them some wood, but it really costs a lot. It's not like we can carry 4 sticks, we have to carry a truck full of wood. Tons of wood. So what do? They look both around the field and in the surrounding countryside for nylon. When they have the stove they burn nylon both for cooking and for heating. However, the stove is a luxury item. We bought many stoves ourselves. Nylon just do a quick hot flash, though. I've been there in the tents. Now, in the last mission in March it was not very cold, just a little. During the previous one it was snowing. I have been there in the tents, there is no difference between inside and outside. When they turn on the stove, a crazy and toxic stench forms, because of the burning of nylon and plastic. Just 5 minutes and it's all over, so even cooking food isn't easy, which is also why our food packages contain just ready-made food.
Ready-made food.
I don't bring
All
them
right.
rice to cook because...
Yes, of course.
I used to do it. But now I understand that it was difficult.
It should be around 0 degrees now, I suppose. Those are the remains that are used in the stoves they have. In the few stoves they have. Let's say so. As a mean of heating, let's say. It is plastic.
How can people help you on a practical level?
By doing things as you do, which moreover also supports us financially. It is important to talk about what we do, to share, to create events, to create interest and not to turn our faces away. There is so much to be said and done. One can share his expertise, make his or her time available. This is a part. Then you can also donate, because I get to a point where I'm ashamed to say it, but not that much. In fact, I don't think I should be ashamed of anything. I leave every month. If I can bring food,
course,
medicine, if I can build
absolutely.
wells, if I can send them to school, if I can treat them and support the most fragile cases, I can do it only and exclusively thanks to donations. I am there myself. I put my face on it, I am the guarantee. Either you trust it or you don't trust it. But I'm the guarantee. I am the person who transforms donations into projects without intermediaries. Again. Either you trust me or you don't trust me, but I'm the guarantee. I am the person who transforms donations into projects, it's all there to see. Let's try to prove.
Well,
We try to show what we do as much as we can with videos, photographs, travels. I'm traveling indeed, I'm not going on vacation. The idea of a holiday for me is something else.
I can understand.
It's not there. It is somewhere else. So donate. Donate with confidence.
I trust you 100% and I put my face too. So
Alberto,
make a
you
donation.
have been supporting us for a long time and I thank you.
Well, it's my duty. I mean, I cannot spread Marian messages and then turn a blind eye, alright?
Yeah.
It would be filthy
You are a person who
hypocrisy.
unites, who transforms what is a theory, a message into action. What good is it if everything remains something only to be understood and shared? It would just stay there. In your case, everything becomes action.
Yes, unfortunately, people care only about the prophetic and fascinating aspect of these messages, but it is right here the core, the heart, the foundation of these messages, and very
It is
few
to act.
spread these messages.
It's true.
Let's go on. Jacareí, Brazil, 2017. This time of wonderful grace has been given to you by a great act of love from God. So this is also a time of grace. It was at my request and for love of me that my Son has given this time of grace for your salvation. San Damiano Apparitions, Piacenza, 1967. Pay attention. Come over and get a lot of water, my children. This water will save the health of your soul and of your body, and it will strengthen you more in faith to fight and win. Carbonia, Sardinia, 2021. The Most Holy Trinity is all here with you. It descends from heaven to join you in this place, blessed by heaven. In the near future, you shall see wonders. You shall see gushing water, healing water, water flowing from the rock. These are dire times, but they are also times of grace. That's to say, some visionaries who see Our Lady have been told about some places by Virgin Mary herself, who has asked to dig wells right in these places. So it was done. Water gushed out of these wells, and this water has healed so many people that even doctors were speechless. We all know about Lourdes water. There was a lady, her name was Delizia Cirolli, born in Palermo in 1964. Now, in 1976, she was just 12 years old, so just a child. Well, she started feeling a very sharp pain in the knee of her right leg. She had malignant tumor. The doctors gave her 6 months. This pain was increasing, and this child couldn't even eat. Because of this pain, she lost weight, she was 50 pounds, she was just dying. So they brought her to Lourdes. She's been wetting her own leg with this water day by day, and after a very short time, she fully recovered. The tumor was gone, and the doctors were just speechless. More, here near us, in Garlasco, near Pavia, there is a source of water as well, which have healed a lot of people even from unknown diseases. For example, there was a lady. Her face was like a toad. Sorry, I'm not exaggerating. She was like a monster. She's been traveling all over the world for 7 years just to look for a cure. But they couldn't help her. They couldn't cure her at all. Well, she went to Garlasco, a place where Our Lady appeared and where there is this Marian water. She's been wetting herself, her face, for 20 days in a row, and she was fully healed. The doctors were really astonished. More, let's remember that this water has the property of infinite multiplication and reproduction. Let me explain, stay with me. Take 9 drops of Garlasco water, put them in a liter of water, possibly spring water, and possibly in a transparent glass bottle. Then leave this liter of water in the sun, outdoors, for 24 hours. Then, after 24 hours, this liter of water will turn into Garlasco water. So I've been thinking, I'll go to Garlasco in about 10 days. I could bring you this water, then you could use it, for someone in the neighborhood who has problems and is not feeling well. Use it as you wish. Then you could, if you feel like it, it's your choice, it's up to you. You could bring it to Syria. Once this water is there in Syria, thanks to this multiplication method that I have just explained, the children and people there at the camp could benefit from this water, and really rest assured, there are even articles and documents about people which have really been cured of incurable diseases. Anyway,
Let me tell you.
built 2 wells, right?
I built 2 wells, yes, the first in 2019.
By the way, you can put this water into
Here.
the well.
Earlier I meant this. You said you'll go in about 10 days. But I will already be gone and also probably back. The next mission I will have luggage that I can store, and I will gladly carry this water. I can't do it on this mission, because you know that water cannot be taken in hand luggage. It is not allowed to carry liquids to the cabin. So this was to answer you. To go back to the wells, yes, I built 2 wells because there was no water in the camp. I mean drinkable, clean water. However, they had the water that was used for the surrounding fields, for irrigation, and they had to fetch it. So I built 2 wells. The first in 2019 while the second 6 months ago. They are full-fledged wells, so we dug, isolated them and put a pump. There are actually 2 pumps. One to get the water out, and another to push it to 5 drinking fountains in the camp. We also put a filter, an accumulation tank and so on. We built 2 wells because one was not enough. At first we thought one was enough, but then it couldn't satisfy the needs of the farthest part of the camp. We had therefore to build a second one there. Wells have changed people's lives. Having the wells means that they can always have water. Even if they don't have a shower at home, it's one thing to go and get water just 50 meters away. It is quite another thing to have to go and get it 1 kilometer away. Above all, however, people's health has changed. Today there are far fewer illnesses related to unclean water, like gastrointestinal diseases and so on. To say, those 2 wells represented a huge change for the field. And there when it's hot it's really hot, Alberto. The temperature reaches over 40 degrees and water is essential, you are thirsty. There is no.
Of course, definitely,
Yes,
water is
life.
everything.
Water is everything.
Water is life.
There were children
I think
there.
it's one of the most important expenses to be
indeed.
done. Do you need to build more?
Now I have to do some maintenance on these 2. I have to change the storage tank, I have to redo the connections because the field is dust, it is soil. It is not possible to deep bury the pipes. When they surface, they might break, so I have to do some maintenance. I was waiting for the end of Ramadan which just ended. And in July and August we will do maintenance. Thousands of euros. Thousands of euros are needed because it is a big work.
It's a very important
It
expense.
is a very important expense and above all, it's really needed for the summer. Water is always needed, but in the summer it really changed their life. Dirty water brings diseases, especially in the summer heat. Instead, now they drink filtered, clean water. It is
Of
It
course.
is a great accomplishment for us. We are a small organization, yet we were able to build 2 wells only thanks to donations. Not 1 but 2 wells.
Of course. I'll read the last messages for the children. These are for the children. Angera, Brazil, 2005. After all the tribulations have passed, peace will reign on earth. Know that the Lord has reserved for the just, not for everyone, but for the just, that which human eyes have not seen. Carbonia, 2016. New rivers and abundant food shall flow for all my children, none shall perish, neither of grief nor of hunger, because here the Son of Man, Jesus, shall bring his kingdom in it, here, in this world, in this planet. Oliveto Citra, Salerno, 2008. Heaven shall descend upon you, which is what we say in the Our Father. Jacare, 2011. Brazil, Jesus shall come back to you in glory to renew heaven and earth, to cleanse the world of sin, of all evil committed every day, so many deeds and sins contrary to the commandments of God, and then to establish among you his kingdom of love, peace, grace, holiness, and justice, where earth shall be a reflection of heaven, in order to free you from all suffering and pain. So, that was really a message for the children. Of course, I cannot tell lies. There will be very difficult years, very tough years are coming for this humanity. There is a man who is the boss of all bosses in this world. That is the Antichrist. In a little while, the whole world will see his face. Rome will be his seat, and he will rule this world for a few years. Later, Jesus will come and will have him exiled from this world. Then, as it is written in these messages, he will bring about a kingdom of peace. Hunger and suffering will no longer exist. They will be no more. What I'm telling you is no fantasy, because years ago I said that worldwide epidemics would come, and so it happened. Years ago I said that Russia would go to war, and so it happened. So I promise you that after these very tough years which are coming, a kingdom of peace will come on earth. I promise you, you will see that what I'm telling you is going to happen. So, now we Italians will try to help you. Let's hope that the Italians would not remain indifferent to this message. Then we are going to translate this video in other languages: English, French, Spanish, Portuguese. The more languages, the better, because if other people from other countries are impressed by this video, they could help you. Arianna, have you got something to say to the people who are listening? Something from your very heart. Anything.
What I would like to tell people is that doing good is not difficult. It enriches, makes you feel proud, and makes you feel, makes you feel that your passage on earth was not in vain. This passage, our passage, it was not without a meaning. You feel you are a better person, proud of yourself. But most of all, the gratitude you receive becomes something you are grateful for. I can't explain it though.
But we do understand
You
it.
understand, here. In the end, it is you who are grateful that you have been of help to someone. that you have changed lives, that you have saved lives. How can we do it? I do it by leaving, but I could not do anything without people's help, without donations. So what I would like to tell people is that it is not difficult. Everyone can bring their own brick. If someone wants to help with a little brick or perhaps big, they can also support me by contacting us or by contacting Alberto. This will truly help hundreds of children, people in extreme poverty and hardship. A little help makes the difference between life and death, between darkness and light, between not living and hoping.
It's all something more for us and for those other people.
Exactly, even for us. It enriches us.
Of course, for us.
Yeah.
Certainly. Arianna, I think that's all. I thank you.
Alberto, I want to say thanks to you even though I know that you don't like to hear it. But I would like to say thank you for what you are doing, for this sharing and for this journey that we are making together for this cause. And also for having come this far, for this moment together.
Well, I always appreciate a thank you.
Good.
By the way, I'll keep telling you what we have said each other. I am the one thanking you. And once again, congratulations. It's been an honor being here with you.
Mutual. And thanks everyone.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye
dear
bye.
friends.
Будет ярче светить, чем кометы, пролетающие над планетой. Из пустоты, без твоей красоты.